we are live. We are. Oh, it says on the screen. It says on the screen. You don't even need me to tell you.
Hello,
How's it going?
everybody. Well, it takes a second to go live on Instagram. Man, Instagram live sucks because
Why?
the delay is like 10 seconds. Live sucks.
Here we go.
There is something on your screen, by the way. I see that.
What?
That there is something on the. Yeah. What is that?
This
No,
thing?
no, the other way.
This white thing
on the other side.
This white thing.
Yeah.
Oh, hang on, because I think it's reversing it. Yeah. So is it the white thing that's
the white
down?
Thing, yeah.
The white thing. So that is my monitor, just to create a little bit of depth, you know.
Yeah, I have that as well, but I
can not do that if you think that's better, but I just like to.
Yeah, I think it is better.
Without,
yeah.
Okay, fine.
I have all my lights. No, I don't have all my lights. So let me also turn on my rocket lights.
I don't want to ask. I've got this.
There they are. Oh, okay, cool. Hello, everybody. Hello, Instagram. People on Instagram, please consider joining us on YouTube. You are live on YouTube. You can see us in better quality with lower lag and, everything much better than Instagram. I'm going to link it, actually.
There was something I wanted to say with regards to getting
you wanted
to do. Maybe it's to subscribe. Maybe
the transcript.
No. There was something I want. I should have made a note. No, we'll get into all that in a bit. But the thing that I'm going to show you has nothing to do with the transcript. Well, it does, but you'll see in a bit. We just piggyback off in my demo.
Yeah.
So yeah. But there was something I was going to say. Maybe to subscribe or do something. I don't know. Because people are really good. Because whenever we say, if you're on YouTube right now, just hit the like button. Everyone does. And it's really cool.
Yeah.
Because it really helps.
It does help. And we're closing on 1,000 subscribers.
Yeah.
That's a milestone.
That is a big milestone.
And by the end of the year, we are hitting 10K. So you want to be a part of
10K.
that.
10K.
Yes. Yeah.
Well, we prefer you over on YouTube just because we can chat to you and respond to your comments and things like that. Whereas I don't even know whether you can. Oh, what's going on here?
Raising.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I'm trying to be a bit more healthy.
By standing.
Yeah.
Well, I told you about my new. Told you about my new chair that I've bought. Cost me probably maybe €600, something like that. Hang on.
600. Okay,
goes all the way back like this.
But can you stand up?
Mate, why would I need to stand up? And
when you can lay down.
And as I say, it has like a lumbar support, electronic lumbar support, which is now massaging my lumbar.
So how does it work? Like you have to charge your chair or like plug it in?
Comes with a battery and a USB-C. Okay, shall I do the rest of the show like this?
Yeah, sure.
I love how you could just see my head.
Well, I could sit down as well.
And what else has it got? Well, that's kind of it. But it has a footstool, and they're really leaning into this, whatever it is, this feature, because what's on the way is a blanket and an eye mask. They were stretch goals of the Kickstarter that I supported, and it already came with a footstool, which I have to me just over here, and it's just nice just to kick back. And
so you have to you have to keep your chair charged.
No, I mean it can work without it. It's just if you want to, you know, because the Lombard, you can electronically control the lumbar thing. What lumbar? I don't even know what it's bloody called. Once it's set. I don't need to do it. And it's just that massage feature really that I care about. That would disappear if the battery runs out.
Yeah, I'm just being anyway, I think they should have done it with like charging it with the wheels or something, you know. You
That'd
have
be fun, wouldn't
six
it?
of those.
As I'm rolling around the office, you know, it's charging up.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I'm fairly happy because I figured my one was slowly. I mean, it might have even happened on the show for the first time actually, but my old one, it was just slowly going down. I'd be like, oh bloody hell, and I'd lift it back up again, and I'd be right, and then it would slowly go down again. So I got rid of that, and I was like, right, if I'm going to buy a chair, I'm going to spend a bunch of money on it, and I'm going to, you know, buy one that's going to last, because it did. That one lasted a while. It was only a 50 pound gaming chair. So,
You're sitting in your chair longer probably than you're spending time in your bed.
Standing. Yeah. And also I bought a nice arm now for this camera, so it's slightly closer to my monitor, and it takes up less desk space, and it's like, it's just clean, you know, it's clean. Anyway, cool. Shall I reveal the surprise that I have, or should we wait a little bit longer?
We have some people here. Okay, so tell your friends, people, that we have a surprise. I don't know what the surprise is. Sam has a surprise for us.
Well, actually, and it will lean into, and I think this is what I wanted to say, actually, when I was like, I was going to say something, right? We are encroaching on 1,000 subscribers on the YouTube. And obviously that's a big milestone. But we were just discussing before the show, we want to bring you more. We want to do more exciting things. And if you have, and we don't mind, I don't mind hearing stuff that we could do better. It could that we stop talking about this shit at the beginning and we actually just get on with the show. If you have a suggestion or an idea, if you want us to do something, we're really looking to, like, obviously up the ante now for the next 1,000 subscribers. And bring maybe more interactive elements, maybe more, just something. I mean, we what happens on YouTube is that we unlock memberships, and obviously running a community is another thing, you know, in of itself, and whether we can actually do that. But if you have ideas, if you've seen other creators do something really cool, maybe it's merch, maybe it's, I don't know, tell us, and we will listen to it. Like help us out a little bit. Equally, if you want us to not do something, if we do something that really, really annoys you, more than happy to hear it. Criticism is amazing if it's constructive.
Talking about AI.
Yeah. Just stop talking about AI. Just stick with the no-code crap, guys. Stay with Webflow and Framer. Gosh, all this AI shit. More than happy to hear constructive criticism. We don't take it offensively.
Yes.
When people just say something and it just sounds like they're being angry and upset about stuff without really giving us any guidance. That's what's difficult to even respond to in a positive way, to turn it around into something constructive. But if you have something constructive, more than happy.
Yeah.
So the surprise. I don't even know how this is going to turn out, and I have a feeling this might not work the first time, but it's okay. So because I know the change that we're going to make. In fact, I'm going to do something real quick so that we can quickly make the necessary change. Are you listening for test events on your NAN? This has nothing to do with the surprise, by the way. Just, are you listening for test events on your NAN?
I clicked on listening and nothing.
Okay. Yeah, that's fine. That's fine. That's all I need to know. Right. So to let you in on a little secret, guys, we have, whenever we go live, I put in all the timestamps for all of the topics that we cover in the description of the video. Once I've done that, I set up this NAN workflow with it. When I click this, it goes to the video, picks up all the tests, you know, all of the topics that we talk about, gets the transcription of what we talk about, and then I run it through an AI to generate, I'm quite happy to show you the prompt, a social media manager to generate LinkedIn posts for all of the talking points, which I then post on my LinkedIn, keeps the conversation going. I can link to the clips that we do and various things like that. Realistically, we can do anything at this point. And this is Kabaza, this is why I was thinking about this could lead into some ideas that we have, because realistically, what could I do here? I could say, write some blog posts. I could say, a mailing list or something like this. We could write an email about the new show. We could whatever. And I feel like this is, and let me know if you disagree. I feel like this is quite moral because it's not AI slop that's just lazily generated. This is based on things we've actually said and actual talking points. It's just the same as if we got a personal assistant to sit in on a thing and just write up some blog posts, which before AI you would often do. So with that, I was like, well, how can we take this to the next level? What can we do? Well, I hope you don't mind, Kabaza, but I've cloned your voice.
Oh my God.
I've cloned your voice. And because I have all of the necessary ingredients to be able to clone your voice. And I've signed up to ElevenLabs. And I figured, what if we release a roundup called Cmd+AI shortcut? And maybe it's a 10-minute, maybe it's a 3, I don't know. But it's a roundup podcast that's just a short little condensation of what we've spoken about. And if we go into here, so I've got a thing here using the transcript below. So the transcript that I've already got, consolidate into a short thing. I've told it we're using ElevenLabs. I've told it that you can do laughing, express. I don't know whether you guys are aware of ElevenLabs, but you can add all of these annotations in that actually add sound effects and add tonality. And we've actually spoken about this, so it's really cool. You can even jump in as well. I can even cut you off, all this sort of stuff. So, and I've always told it to end with what we end with, right? So I've got this. Okay. So I've got this thing, and it's all triggered off of this whole workflow. So I've got the transcript and whatever. And this is why I said run the end thing, because I'm about to send you this and you can deal with it offline, right? And then I send it to ElevenLabs and generate a audio version of the condensed version of the Cmd+AI shortcut. So I was just going to run it now. It's going to do its thing. It's probably going to get last week's episode. If it doesn't, it might actually break because it might get this week's episode. I don't know. So I think it's got this week's episode, which is that's really annoying. Let's
can you change that?
Can you see that? It's got like 31. Yes. So let's make a quick change. Code in JavaScript. Could we RSS? So basically I get all of the episodes and I filter out the first one. So let's do this podcast, because I think it will be the second item in the array. So we could potentially just do that. And let's just run that to see if it gets RSS feed. Oh, that's annoying, isn't it?
Yeah.
So it's got
you got time.
Okay. Well, thanks for the time. I'm trying to work out. Yeah, we can do whatever we want. How is this feeling for you right now? What are you thinking? Is this something?
I don't know. I'm scared of this is the first time. No, this is actually not the first time my voice being cloned, but I don't know. I also gave my voice to Apple. This was quite a long time ago. They had this thing to clone your voice for a time when you might need it later on.
Oh yes, I remember.
They need it.
Yeah, I remember.
So, gosh, I'm actually very excited to hear that. Probably with better accent and much better grammar for sure.
Yeah,
but that you can give it in the prompt. Use like B1 level grammar.
How do I do this?
Okay, so can you just change?
I've hard coded it, so maybe.
Okay.
So execute workflow. because it's got all of these, right? And then I take all of them. Maybe it needs... We have released a lot. There it is. So it's there.
Okay.
And then
so as you fix that, for people who might be watching and not knowing what this software is, this is N8N. This is for automation. We use this to automate pretty much anything. My favorite automations are mostly with Telegram, mixed with Telegram. So you can use Telegram to send a message or to trigger something, and then a chain of things can happen. And what is like super duper cool about it nowadays about automation is that you can have something called AI nodes. So imagine just an AI in the middle of your automation making decisions for you, or like, producing something for you. Previously, without AI, you had to, when you would automate something, you would have to match things exactly and specifically and say, like, if the user says exactly this, you would have to really match things. But now with AI, you can take something from the user, whatever, and ask the AI with a prompt to decide what to do based on, analyzing that thing. So it is, much more flexible in a way. You can do much cooler stuff with it. And in this case, Sam is trying to automate generating posts for LinkedIn based on the conversations that we have here. So basically taking these conversations and put them in chunks, smaller chunks, for LinkedIn, which is really cool. And for people who are interested in this, by the way, this is like a whole thing in itself. Like, companies actually pay you to do this kind of things. You can imagine, like, companies do a bunch of things manually, right? And there are people in companies, going to work day in, day out to just manually do some certain tasks again and again and again. And of course, like, it would be something that companies would be interested in to pay for if you could automate their stuff. So yeah,
so you can see it's running. So on the back end,
Is
you
it?
should have got a post event to your N8N workflow. But again, you guys don't have to worry about that. That's just offline. So what it's doing right now, I've sent all of that into the AI agent, which is now generating that script of a shortened version of last week's episode. So the output of that will be what I've told it to be a script, so we can even see it come through. So there we go. Broadcast start, clears throat. So again, you've got all these things. So clears throat. I think it's going to break. Oh no. Let's have a look. Because I'll give you the insight. So now it's sending this through to ElevenLabs to take that script and generate an audio version of it. Now, the reason why I thought it would break is because
taking our text and creating a voice out of it, a sound based on my voice. Yeah.
So I've cloned Kabaz's voice here, if you can see that. I've cloned my voice, and I wasn't too pleased with the thing, but you get 1 credit to create a pro voice, and I've given it like 2 hours of my voice, and this is the but when I hover over this, it doesn't say version 3. It only says version 2.5 on all the training. So now that I've sent it to this, I thought it would say you cannot do this sort of stuff with version 2.5 of the pro voice. So anyway, point is, it seems to be working. It hasn't thrown an immediate error.
So can you show us the N8N again, please?
Share this tab.
Yeah. So right now, okay, it is still like...
There we go. So it's done. So
done.
Actually, there's something happened here. So we need to figure that out. So it's done. So let's do this. Let's download this file. And let's see if we can open it up in the browser so we can all hear it and be incredibly embarrassed of the potential racism that could come from over...
Yeah, last time we did it, it was pretty racist, the AI, but
Okay, I can already hear it. It sounds shit. But
Okay.
Can you see this?
Yeah.
Right, we're going live. We're in. Good evening, good morning, good night. The shortest live ever, if Cloudflare has anything to say about it. Did you see the chaos this morning?
This is supposed to be me,
Half
by
the
the way,
internet
guys.
just vanished. Webflow, StreamYard.
It's pretty good. Like, you're pretty good.
Scary how lost we are when one server goes down. But hey, at least we made it. But
It's you, apparently.
speaking of panic, Samuel, there is a massive code red right now over at OpenAI. They are freaking out.
So this is 3.5 minutes.
Oh, absolute
people,
panic station.
Does it sound like us?
Sam Altman reportedly called a...
Yeah, guys, does it sound like us? Is that part? Because this stuff gets better, right?
Yeah.
Is that passable for a Command AI shortcuts or something where you can consume the news in 3.5 minutes? It'll obviously be podcast, but I've no doubt we could, again, using NAN, we could feed this into, what's the video one called? I forgot the name of it.
Anesthesia? What was
Yeah,
it?
and yeah, we could feed it into something like that. We could write a blog post on this, whenever. But the audio version, could we?
Synthesia. Yeah.
But yeah, I'm not sure that was worth my 1 credit of training. I actually thought I actually did run this through the voices before, and I would say the one that it's not been trained on, well, the one that's been trained the least sounds more like me, to be honest. But I think there's a tonality in what we're saying that you can kind of work out who's who. It could be something we do.
Yeah, this is so. My impression, it is better than what I thought, right?
Okay,
but I
good.
feel like there is this long tail that we keep ignoring, or we don't see it yet. And I feel like this is very similar to self-driving cars example, where we could do self-driving cars a decade ago, like the demos, but like the actual the long tail of the small details makes it, or it has made it very difficult to have like actual self-driving even today. And this is the same. I feel like this is the same with images, with video. Even with images, I feel like we are not 100% there yet, even though we are super close. But with video and voice, it's just much more difficult to have that 100% authenticity. But I don't know. I mean, it is better than I thought.
It raises the question of like, what was I? So I saw a post on LinkedIn, and one guy was like, all of the applications that they're receiving for some grant are being AI generated, right? And my response to that was, so you can't avoid, you can't just say to people, no, you can't use AI, right? People are going to use AI. So that it's here. The Pandora's box has been opened, so we have to deal with it. So my response to it was, we need to understand the reason why we are running these application processes. What is it we're trying to get out of these people? What is it why did we land on the form as a way of determining or answering those questions? Where I'm going with this is, what are we trying to achieve? Like, this is our art. Our live stream is our art, the thing we're putting, our ideas and stuff like that is, we're not looking to replace what we're already doing. We're just using it as a platform to broaden our reach and provide an extra service. Like, you probably got your own opinions on this stuff, but like my posts on LinkedIn, I would get an assistant to do that. I'm looking for good, but I'm not looking for absolute perfection on every little thing that we do. We just physically don't have the time. I want to improve our edits, but I physically do not have the time to just make them all, everything that we do absolutely amazing. So my question is this good enough to serve the purpose of a 3.5 minute roundup of what we spoke about? Or is it truly detrimental to our brand that we have something that goes out that you know, whatever. Let's say, for example, I see what you see what I'm saying? Like, what are you looking for from something like this, and why should it meet such high standards?
Let me surface one of the comments here. That was horrible. Did it work better with just your voice, Sam?
So what do you mean by that? Are you saying when I just ran it through and it was just me? Because it sounded better on the, because you can clone your voice with two options. You can clone it as a pro and you only get one of those, and I need to upgrade to like 300 because it does all these pre-train. It took like 6 hours. It took quite a few hours to build that thing based on 2 hours of recording. And there's another option which is instant, and you upload like 10 minutes of voice and it does it in like less than 5 minutes. The one that was less than 5 minutes sounded better than that one. So I'm not sure what your question means there, but like, it doesn't change whether it's just me or whether it's a dialogue thing. It uses the same voice.
Okay, so for me to answer your question, and also to talk about the comment, I think your voice was pretty good. Mine was not really as close. And to answer like the main question, is this going to harm our brand? I would say yes. I would say yes, there are some people that might, you know, listen to this and not notice that it's AI, or they might and not care. But at the end of the day, I feel like this will do more harm than good. Especially like right now, I don't see people being very kind to AI. I watched this video about Microsoft going all in on AI and users absolutely hating it. And it is just about like, people don't really like this all going in AI thing, even though in some cases it is useful. And I do get the appeal. 3.5 minutes of, you know, condensed everything. It's much easier to do it with AI. Like if we want to do the same thing by editing the show down, that would take ages, right? It would take an editor like ages to condense everything. And if they even could, because it's pretty difficult to take out so much context. But yeah, I think it is super cool. I personally wouldn't want to put it out there because to me it feels still a bit too unpolished, too AI sounding. And I would say if somebody doesn't have time to watch, you know, like the whole show, a text version of that would be probably maybe better. Like have something like, maybe we can use AI, you know, to get what we talked about and generate a much shorter text version and just put that out there. So if somebody wants to just know, okay, what is up in 1 minute, something like Morning Brew. I don't know if you read Morning Brew or not. I check them out on Instagram. I go to my Instagram, I see Morning Brew, and I know what is up, and it's very condensed, very short. So that's my take on it.
Yeah. We'll take it offline because I think, like, you know, the question, because I've got an app that on my iPad that just reads out the page in the voices that they provide to me. A lot of people do digest things in audio format. Again, do the pros outweigh the cons? So we'll move on, but I will show you a version where it's the quick version of my voice. So if I go here, I think it sounds better. You let me know.
Right, we're going live. Good evening, good morning, good afternoon. It has been a chaotic start, hasn't it? Cloudflare literally went down this morning. I couldn't even...
Let's just quickly go back to this one.
The Cloudflare one.
Right, we're going live. We're in. Sam Altman reportedly called a code red.
What do you think?
For the video, because
the second one definitely has more depth to it. This is the quick one, and then I think yours is exactly the same.
Model. which is open source and on par with.
There are moments where you can kind of hear where it's going with it.
Because
It's a specialist model for scientists and mathematicians.
So yeah.
I don't know. My issue is not with the voice exactly, because you can tune voice to to make it match better.
Were you hearing that, by the way? Because I didn't see.
Yeah.
You heard it, okay? Because we weren't in this view. That's all. Cool. All right.
I did hear it. I don't know about the audience, but I did hear it. Anyway, to me, it's about the tonality, the way we say things, and I don't know. I feel like there is something about that, something human about that connection, and that is what matters to me. I mean, I mentioned this before. I don't want to watch AI generated content. And if I do happen to see some, it is generated by a human for a purpose, like trying to communicate, typically a meme or something like this. To me, this is a step too far in the direction of completely taking me out of the equation, because I know it is based on what we talked about, but it could be also, giving it anything, right? We could give it any. That's my cat. You see in the frame.
I don't know. There's an element of me that sort of wants to say, like, get off your high horse a little bit, and you have a team working for you. They represent, they do things for you. Like, I don't know. I don't think we're all that. If you were to sort of shadow a yes, I'm split on whether it was better or not. I mean, then it's just fun, isn't it? But glad you heard it. But if you were to shadow like a CEO of a company, right? The amount of decisions that get made that if you get ghostwriters, right? You get all these PR people who literally they just sign stuff off, and then all of a sudden they've said this thing. Like, there is so much deception that happens, whether it's AI or not. There's so much deception that happens. So I don't know. I can hear your cat purring. It's really, really peaceful. Let's move on anyway, because I think. But it was just a fun experiment.
Just one last thing about that.
Go on.
And I think this is for anybody who wants to do this, maybe for their clients. There is an opportunity for that. I have a client who pays pretty good, but they are super, super duper busy. Like, they are extremely busy. And they've been telling me this for quite some time, that they prefer having something on LinkedIn than nothing. I don't know. I'm also like split on where I stand with this, because sometimes maybe not having anything is better than having something really bad. But they want to generate content with AI and just put it out there. Video, audio, text, everything. So yeah, once they have time, I will talk to them about maybe even we do a collaboration with them, generate stuff for them and put it out there. But there are people who really don't have the time, and they see the value in just putting out something that is resemblance of what they think. So it's out there. But at the end of the day, we have only this much time, and I don't know if people will actually consume it.
Yeah. Cool. Let's go on the side of the week. Cheers for humoring me. That was really good fun. And I'll figure out the NAN thing, but that was a good experiment that I was thinking about. Like, how can we bring people content that's valuable? Because at the end of the day, it needs to be valuable to you guys, right? And if you think that sometimes you would just like a little whatever, and you are the type of person that consumes content audibly, because obviously there's not video, we could add text to this. This could be a blog post that we add on a website that doesn't exist yet. The text is there, but you could press play and all of a sudden you're listening to the audio of it. So yeah, let us know if that would be a valuable thing. But yeah, good fun.
I could see the value in that, actually. I could see the value in that's actually a good idea. What? Imagine.
Go on.
Like, the Webflow podcast. I've been on the Webflow podcast, and what they do, they talk to you, and then they edit it and they put the audio version out. But also they have a text version. It's the transcripted version. So for us, we could have like the text, but also an audio generated version of that in the same page. You know how I sometimes use just what Google Chrome has to read it out loud for me, because I want to read an article.
I use. Yeah, exactly, right.
I can't read it because I can read it because I'm like on my bike or in a car or something. I want to listen to it, so that's how I do it. Now imagine it's the same thing but with our voice. It's just more natural.
Two different voices. Would you feel better on one of their own voices? Where we could select two random, a boy and a girl or something like that. Like. They're probably better recorded and probably have a better result. But that's the point. It's about where the value is. Let's establish what the value is, rather than getting on the high horse about the use of lack thereof of AI. It's not really about the AI. It's about giving people a new format that might be more suitable for them.
As an alternative, I do like it.
Yeah.
Cool.
Oh yeah, definitely alternative. Cool. Nice.
Cool. All right. It was a long pre-intro thing, but it was worth it. It was fun to hear the voices. Yeah. Now, let's go. Should I start with the intro?
Yeah, I'm going to chill out while you do that.
Okay. Okay.
I'm here.
Yeah. Okay. So this week. With your camera is focused on now it's focused on you. Cool. Okay, let me see, who do we have? So we have like 52 people, and now we are officially starting with quite a lot of things this week. So this week OpenAI released GPT 5.2. React got hacked really bad. Anthropic donated the MCP protocol. Cursor released a visual editor, which might put Webflow and all other design tools in trouble. And we will talk about some drama, a $50,000 landing page. All of this in today's episode. This is Command AI. I'm Kavarza.
And I am Samuel. And this is a week in AI design and dev.
Cool. Yeah, it looked like Vsauce video. And hey there, Vsauce here. Where? Down here. Okay, so cool. Let's start with some drama. All right. So yeah, we have some Twitter drama. So I'll take that from here. So $50,000 for a single landing page. Let's talk about this Twitter drama. And I can't add my screen for some reason. Wait.
It's because I'm sharing it.
I need to remove yours. Yeah. Okay. So can you charge $50,000 for a single landing page? And this is the drama we are going to talk about here. Marcel said, earlier this year, I was charging $1,200 per landing page. Now we have single landing page clients for $50,000 for one single landing page. He tweeted that, and obviously people reacted to this. And then he was like, you don't get it, guys. A company that raised millions investing $50K in a world-class landing page is normal. But yeah, people reacted to that as well, including Brett. I don't know if you have heard of Brett or not. You probably have. He retweeted a screenshot saying that I'll pay you $50K if you show me proof that you actually got $50K for a landing page. And I think this is very important for a landing page. We're not talking about things around it, just a landing page. And I don't know how you feel about that, but this might have happened, but I feel like charging $50K for a landing page only is a stretch. by a long shot. And I have worked with companies who have raised millions, like literally millions, with enterprise clients who don't mind paying like huge amounts, but 50K just for a landing page, that's the point. It's just a bit unbelievable. Anyway, so Brett said this, and you would think that Marcel would provide proof and Brett would, pay him or something, but it seemed like that the drama continued because Brett blocked Marcel after Marcel tried to show him some proof or something like that. So they went into the DMs, and essentially Marcel is asking Brett, hey, what type of proof do you need to believe me? And he's like, I can send you the Figma, the payment invoice, company name, and most importantly, sufficient evidence that the payment was made for a single landing page. This is what Brett is asking. And I think this is pretty, reasonable to ask, like, is it just for the landing page? Anyway, so apparently they did a little bit of back and forth. And at the end, Marcel is saying, okay, I can definitely send a payment statement and Figma and client's company not launched yet. I'm assuming you won't share this with the public. So yeah, there has been some drama around it, and minutes after, Brett blocked Marcel. Both of these guys are really pro rage baiters. They are really good at rage baiting and getting like hundreds and thousands of views just, from saying like things like this. Anyway, so the question is, can you actually charge 50K for a landing page? And I don't also just mean one time, maybe a specific case with a huge rush fee because you have to do it really fast. No, I'm talking about like regularly, semi-regularly with big clients. Do they pay 50K for a website? So that's a different question. Yes, absolutely. Clients pay far more than 50K for a single website. Myself, the biggest, not invoice, but the, what's it called? Like proposal. The biggest proposal that I wrote was for almost 500K, like $500,000. But it wasn't for a landing page. It was for the whole thing. It was like back end, front end, a website. It was like the app itself. It was a bunch of work that would require such a budget. My project, by the way, didn't move forward, not because of the money, but because of other things. But clients are willing to pay this amount of money. But 50K for a landing page, what do you think?
Well, it kind of goes into what you just said about like everything, right? What is Brett arguing, or what does he suspect was 50K? Sorry, what was purchased for 50K? Because of course, like, is he saying?
So
does he say anything like?
So the Twitter, like, if you look at like the replies and such, people were mentioning that the work that Marcel has is not, on the level that you would charge 50K for.
I don't care about that. I don't even care about the result. I don't like. What I'm interested in is, well, first of all, I just need that. I'm curious to know what Brett was.
So Brett is suspicious of this for a landing page. That's the point.
Because I don't think Brett doubts that 50K entered this guy's account. I don't think he doubts that.
Yes, that's correct.
And it comes down to semantics. Well, actually, no, they paid you 13K for a landing page, but 10 of that was rush fees, or blah 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 was, I think
what Brett is,
does he say or mention anything about does he mention anything like that? Like, actually, it wasn't 50K for a landing page; it was 25K for a landing page, but the
No,
others
he
were
just
overages or something like that.
yeah. This is just the tweet he
Fine.
sent, and there is not much around it. But again, like people are not questioning the 50K for a client, which is not a huge number, by the way. Like, yes, it is big, but like for high-end clients, this is kind of like the lower end, actually. What is in question is one landing page, just the landing page costing this much.
Yeah.
We're talking about branding, right? There could be branding, assets, development, a lot of things going into it. And I still don't know if this is like for design only or design and development. But even if it's design and development, 50K is still very, very high. Like for one single page, for one single page, like 20, 30K would be normal design and development for something with, I don't know, a bunch of like crazy animations and something like that. But 50K is a bit much.
So there's a couple of things we need to get clear, right? And this is the classic trap a lot of us fall into, myself probably included, right? Those, especially when you start your own company, you quickly, there's two things people often charge for. One is the technical expertise, right? The ability to code, like the ability to code a good landing page, or the design expertise or whatever. And you think of it like that, and you think, well, if it's good design or if it's good development, then you can charge a lot for it. The other aspect is, which we're often, once you start getting into running your own company and this and that, you start to charge for the product itself. Like, I don't need to know, I don't want to know if you think that's a good or bad designed website, or if the code is good or bad. It's simply that someone wants a landing page, and you look at what it's called value-based pricing, right? Is what value, what is on the line of the success of this landing page? What really is on the line? And you're told that if you're entering conversations with your clients, you're told to really establish where are the wins, what would be this, what are the success metrics, and what is on the line here if this actually goes really, really well? Because you could be, because Nike could be launching a new shoe that is sponsored by one of the biggest sports stars in the world, and they just need a landing page. And if they get it right, what's on the line is potentially hundreds of millions of pounds or dollars or whatever you want to call it, right? So you say, well, we're going to charge you 10% of that, which is already 100K. So like, when the stakes are so high, that's where you start to get in the realm of, actually, it's a fucking steal paying 50 grand, because actually that's 5% of the potential gains of this product.
Yes, but if that is guaranteed, and there is no guarantee, that's why
exactly, and that's why you don't that's why you put 5%. That's what we say. Well, we can't guarantee 100 million, but that's what. And just the last thing I'll say is, because I've worked on a 50K landing page, right? The last thing I'll say is, it's not just the design, it's not just the development, it's also the copywriting. It could be the assets. I've worked on a landing page where we needed 3D assets made. The development work alone was, I think, between 12 and 15K, right? Not a lot, but that was through an agency. And so they're going to take a 20% cut on top of that. So probably you're talking about 20 grand alone, just for the development. We also designed the thing. We also wrote the copy for the thing. We also had to figure out the hosting and the whatever. Like, if you were to go strictly on the technical expertise and charge for that, there's so much that could go into it. There might even be photography that might have been created. There might have been pre-visualizations. I'm looking at animations on your screen right now. There's a font. Maybe there was font design for it. There is so much that could go into a landing page. It's worth establishing, well, what were you asked to do? What constitutes as a landing page? Well, it was font design. It was a branding system. It was they could have had nothing. So that's all I'll say about that.
That's exactly, that is the point. 50K for a product design and landing page, that's actually extremely cheap, right?
very
Like
rich.
this level that we are talking about, like this level that we see. So I see like good work. This is like really nice work, really
Take
nice.
taste out of it though, because something could be gold to someone and charcoal to someone else, right? So I'm trying to remove taste from this whole discussion.
But I'm adding taste to it.
Yeah, sure.
Like,
but you can't judge. You can't say something is or isn't worth 50K based on taste. Like you've got to go with empiric.
Yeah,
facts.
I know what you're trying, like what you can measure, but even taste is partially, like the design is also partially you could measure. But nonetheless, like when we are looking at a landing page for something like this, there are asset design. So if that is included, you could charge more. But also the assets, are they like 2D or 3D? Because recently we did some work, and I unfortunately I can't share it yet. It's not finished, but we did like 3D asset design for the landing page, and we did the landing page design, and it was a huge amount of work. And it wasn't 50K, but it was like really like, it's one of the work that we are really proud of. And I just know how much work went into it. That's why I'm mentioning like it can be like 50K when you consider everything in it. But when you just consider the landing page and nothing in it, that is maybe a bit of a stretch. I don't know. But nonetheless, the work here is pretty nice. I wanted to show one other example of a landing page that didn't cost 50K. It cost 90K. So you probably have heard of this, Huli. Alex here shared on LinkedIn quite a while ago that they charged 90,000. That's 9 with a 0, not 19, 90K for ElevenLabs landing page. And then he mentioned that they did branding, design, development, and motion. And we can quickly look into it, because this 90K project was actually like one of the biggest projects that we were looking at when we did that project website, that project for my client, where we did like 3D and design and everything for them. We wanted to do something like on this caliber. So if we look at the website, you see like there are some interactions, you see there are some WebGL stuff, like some like nice motion. If you look at the product in a just looking at it, it might look like, oh, this is just a screenshot. But I assume there are a lot of work that went into this. There are like some lighting effects on this, not just one layer, like multiple layers of lighting. They might have recreated this inside of Blender, because I know that they use Blender for a bunch of other things. Like all of these, they have motion, they have interactions, and this is like made in Blender. Same here, like they have made like a whole section in, like the assets in Blender, all with this brand. Same here. Quite a lot went into this. Like you look at this,
it's easier
it's a
to
lot
see
of
where
assets.
that 90 grand went, right?
Exactly. When you see this level of details, you see they didn't just add it 8th of March here. they went in and they thought like, how can we make this look absolutely beautiful? And they made it really beautiful. Or like this sync in real time. You see like the amount of detail going into this is insane. So 90K, it's like very understandable. And just wait for me to show you, it's not actually just one landing page. It has like this pricing page with it as well. Like, look at this. This is the craziest pricing page I've ever seen.
So
even 1 year after the launch. And they, by the way, if you're interested, they did this with After Effects. So this is a video. This is essentially a video. I believe people recreated this with Drive, but at the time they did this, they did it with After Effects. And
so if content updates, then they're fucked.
No, the text is text, but the background.
Well, if you added another
video.
bullet point, you'd fuck the video. because the card would get longer.
Yeah. I
Thing
understand.
like but I mean,
but since this is developed inside of After Effects, they can easily.
What about translations? What if you translated that to German?
Yeah, I don't know. That's a good idea. That's a good question. I don't know how it is. If I
just one thing to add though, and we've already kind of touched on it anyway, is like, you know, it's easy for the design community to be they're so visual, they often forget the stuff that's unseen. First and foremost being the strategic application of this. Like, you know, you can charge anywhere between 10 and 50 to 100k just for the strategic element before you've even lifted a piece of pen and paper or touched your keyboard. You're charging up to 100 grand just to figure out what the hell we're doing and how we're gonna execute on this in an effective way. Yeah, see, it's broken. So
yeah.
And then what about mobile as well? Surely mobile, like a tiny little iPhone, you know, SE or whatever, or mini will make the text longer and it will break it. But anyway, you know, it's easy for us to comment on things for it to look pretty, and we go through trends, right? We'll look at something again from a visual standpoint. We look things that look trendy look expensive, but it's just because they're trendy, and they'll fall out of trend in next year, and then it'll be something else, and then it won't be deemed this sort of aesthetic won't be deemed as premium. Point is, there's so much that goes into unseen stuff, and again, from a business perspective, you know, 50 grand adds up very, very, very quickly. 90 grand even, you know. And this is just one last thing on profits, right? Difference between profits and revenue. Why people share their revenue, I don't know, because yes, you might have charged 50 grand for a website, but you know what, in hiring people it might have cost you 45, so actually the profits are minimal, whereas they could have charged 90 for this, and actually they only cost them a 10 grand to make, so their profits are 80 grand. So like, people just forget about the business and the strategic side to stuff. We've got a comment here. Couldn't even imagine the meeting you need to explain to get the green light it would take. Well, Bakerus, you know, I think this is laughable to executive. This conversation is laughable to executives at Nike, at Adidas, at Apple. Like, they're just like, this is just the way it is. Like, we're playing around in the whitewater. If you're a surfer, you know what that means. Like, we're messing around in the whitewater when we talk about 50 grand. It's like, what, 50 grand? That's a bargain. Like, the salaries alone cost like 45, 50, like,
exactly.
You know,
yeah.
Like, yeah,
I agree. But this is why I don't like value-based pricing. I believe it is very deceiving, and it is harmful to people just starting. You could sell a landing page for 50K, but that is not something that you can do often, and this is not something that many people can do. What many people can do, what something that, you know, anybody who's good at their craft can do, is price their craft based on the amount of detail that goes into it and the amount of work that goes into it. And this is, I think, what happens more often.
Both are arguable, though. Both are arguable.
I don't think, like, with like big companies or startups, anyone is willing, or like most, like by far majority are not willing to pay value-based pricing. They probably don't want to pay you 50K for just a landing page because, I don't know, you happen to have like good taste in the past. So what do you guarantee? Why should they pay you 50K when they can pay 10K for the same landing page? So
you pay for different things. Like, again, like maybe some people here are focused on you're paying for the design. You're not. You might be paying for this person has a record of landing pages that are performing really, really well from a data perspective. It doesn't matter what it looks like. It might be all in the copy. So we're just
but that is
so locked into the visuals. Sorry.
Yeah. The copy is different. When I'm talking about like the landing page, I'm talking about typically when we say a landing page, we mean like just the design of it.
No,
right?
No, that I don't.
That's
where. And this is why
but that is what was in the tweet. That's what I would get from it the
So
design.
what they said we got paid 40 grand just to design this landing page.
No, that's what I'm saying. Like they didn't say just the design, but that is what Brett's point here also
so
was.
That goes back to my point about semantics. That's what I was trying to establish.
Yeah, the semantics.
What's Brett talking about here? Is he locked into a particular aspect where he can dispute? No, it wasn't 40 grand because 10 grand of that was copy. It's like, well, the original person never said it was just design. But yeah, semantics are a funny thing, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, it goes back to the product of a landing page. Like, don't just think it's just all the stuff you can see. It might have been actually it cost 50K because they needed to fly him in to a different country for the preliminary meetings. You know, the hotels alone could have cost 5 grand. Yeah, it's all this sort of stuff that people just. Again, when I say it again, we're just playing in the white water when we're talking about. Like, we have no idea what these companies are willing to pay.
Don't we? Like, okay, so just in my head, to wrap it up, you can charge 50K for a landing page, but that includes a bunch of things, not just, making a bento box. It might include also web brand. It might include motion and a bunch of things. And my point here why I don't like value-based pricing is if you price it based on those things that you're delivering to the client, it is much easier to see why it takes 50 grand. And that is why you're also partially saying it is laughable to these big companies because 50 grand, of course it costs 50 grand because, the people that they are paying cost far more than that. People who are, working at those companies, and 50K is a small portion of that. And when you see the design, the copywriting, the visuals, the branding, the versioning, like you would probably do many versions, and the time and the constraints that you have, it will end up requiring so many people and so many hours that it is like very clear that it costs, like in this case 90K, because they had to have somebody to do the visual, somebody to do the development, somebody to do the 3D. Like at least I could see like 4 or 5 people included in this project for many months. So yeah, of course it costs 90K.
Well, the debate is still going to rage on. Like people are just going to think that's nothing for 50K. Some people are going to think that is I can't possibly ever imagine charging more than 5K for a landing page.
Man, when I started like my business, I was questioned like, how could you charge 10K for a website? Like is it like even possible? Like a friend of mine used to ask me that. 10K in coffee consumption to make it. Yeah, that is.
Churn it out. Get it done.
That is what you need. You just don't sleep, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. At the end, let us know what you think. Like, do you think like Marcel actually charged 50K? And if they did, for what? Marcel, if you're watching this, can you just specify? I don't doubt that you charge 50K, but can you specify for what exactly? That would be nice. Maybe sometime you can show us what was the build. So it would be nice to see the landing page in action. And
And Brett, if you're watching, what were you doubting in that original like in the original tweet? Like what caused you to be so dumbfounded that you couldn't possibly have charged for 50K for? Are you just focusing on design? DM's always open.
DM's always open, and we don't block you guys.
No, that's so stupid and petty. Oh god, cringe.
I don't know.
Absolute cringe.
Yeah. Anyway, Twitter drama.
Site of the week. We got to blitz through this. We've nattered on so much on the first 2 things. We're not even really in the show yet.
Yeah, we are not. Okay. So for the site of the week, I can't use my that browser. I need to use Chrome.
Oh, that's not a good sign. What browser are you in?
I was using Arc, but I'm going to use Chrome because There is a nice thing about this website that I will show you that Chrome can show, but copy link. But I can't do it in Arc because Arc pop-up window works differently, or it doesn't have a pop-up window at all. Okay, so I'll reload the site once I'm ready. Okay, so I'll show you this. Like, oh my god, this is just so fucking cool. All right, so this is site of the week, and this is probably the best mix of art with technology I've seen so far. This is from Shopify Editions Winter 26, and this is absolutely amazing. Just look at these transitions and look at this like WebGL effects when I scroll. Do you see also like the parallax and the art, the mix of the coffee here, the shopping bags, you know, the Shopify thing, the skateboard, the shoes, and the Renaissance. And by the way, that you see what they did there, the Renaissance, the Ren-AI Sense edition. Yeah, that's nice, the AI edition. And man, the motion here is amazing. The art is just, I freaking love it. The mix that they have here, they have like 3D elements. This is like an actual like 3D element, and then these are kind of like 2.5D. You see, like it gives perspective, and this is like a video somehow, or like it has some motion in it. It's just so good. So they talk about a bunch of things that happen in the last year or in the current year with Shopify, and I believe like things that is going to happen. So they have this sidekick. Then you go through this. By the way, these are also all animated. I'll just fly through them. They have like this like really cool UI that you can hover and see, and you can click and go and read, by the way. So a lot of this is for reading. So this is essentially like a magazine, and then linked to places to read a bunch of stuff. And then this transition breaks me every single time. It is so freaking good. It's so smooth. It's insane. And like, do you see that, like the level of the details they have in the imagery with the, and again, you see this 3D book in a painting. It's just so good. Or this one. This is one of my favorites. I mean, you see like the code, the art on one side, the code on the other side, and the motion that exists without me doing anything. And that I forgot to mention, like one of the best things about this website is the font pairing. So you see this font that works really well with the imagery, and then they have this one that is bold. It's just like the contrast of serif and sans serif is just so well made. And yeah, one thing I was thinking about, like looking at these imagery, they like, I can see that it is not too difficult to create something like this with AI, like just the image with AI does it really well. What they've done really well is that they pushed it enough that it doesn't look like AI generated imagery. It is just alive and has details, and it has craft in it, and it makes me up. It's so good. I mean, look at this. Like, this is amazing. It's just insane.
Yeah.
And then they have this they have this like whole 3D thing, and you see how the background is moving. It's just so well made. And then this desk in this beautiful place, and yeah, man, it is out of this world. Like the whole, I see the whole Twitter talking about this. I will make a short video and put it on all social media about this in my way of, like, you know, with my phone. I will make a video about this. This is just too good. And it is also very readable. The way they've done this, it is extremely readable. Like, I don't have an issue reading anything. even though there are so much 3D and imagery going on. Maybe here is not as readable, but it is still quite readable. So they have this. I mean, look at this, and the globe. You can play with the globe, and then so here we have this one shop app, the B2B. It's also really like fun how they did this, like the B2B, the image. You see, and these are also 3D because you see them like move and they reflect the light. And then the reason I use Chrome is this. There's a nice thing about it. So you see the shipping, and you see what they are doing, like the cheetah and being fast with the shipping, but still using the same like environment and concepts. So the cheetah has this box for it's called Cheetah Fleet. So the details here, it's just so cool. The Cheetah Fleet. And you see this key, I can click on it and look what happens. A new window pops up that is in sync with the window in the background. This is like insane. Oh, I got it out of the cool. So this is really cool. So you take the key, kind of, it's like grabbing the key and now you're moving it to somewhere to open something. So here we can click it and then something happens in this screen and in the background. It's just insane. You see how the art style shifts, and it's kind of like a new view. Now you can go back the whole website and see a whole layer on top of what you could already see. So you see, it is insane. Cool. It is so it's like a detail on top of it, and then we end with the developer. This is also one of my favorite ones, like with the finger and these things coming together. So for people who don't know how websites like these are made, you should check out WebGL and 3JS. There are like some really good 3JS courses. The one from Bruno Simon, we'll talk about that next week. But yeah, you can check those. I want to share one last thing about this website, or like in general. Shopify has this thing, this Shopify edition that they do every year. And I want to compare. This is from this year, right? The winter 26. I want to show the one that they did, the first one that was summer 2022. And what is really interesting to me, like how far they have came in terms of like graphics and like details to add, because this is in concept very similar to the other one. See, like we have this sticky navigation and a bunch of like information to go through with some imagery and some like, I don't know, 3D, but this is what they had in 2022. And yeah, it is, you can see the concept, like the wireframe is essentially the same, but man, they've came a far, like this is just so good what they have now. So yeah, check it out if you're interested in Shopify. You can also go to see all editions. It's in a fun magazine, like this is where you see all of them. The other ones are also incredible, like especially the last 5, incredible. Yeah. Anything you want to talk about this website?
There was a lot there.
Yeah.
No, I think this one's really nice. What was it? Was it your fans I could hear spinning up whilst you're on that website though?
So
was it your fans I could hear?
I don't know.
You should get your GPU little monitor.
Oh
just to,
man, I can hear that because I have the headphones. I couldn't hear my fans. Yes. Well, I have 2 instances of it open, to be fair.
You're just reckless, aren't you? You're just reckless.
Yeah.
No, I mean, it's cool. What does the mobile version look like?
I haven't checked it, but let's see. So yeah, it seems like
so cool.
It's the same thing.
Again, I don't want to crash your computer, but it does look pretty P-word.
I don't know. I think it is still readable. It's just that the text is taking more. Maybe this is not the exact representation of how it will be
a
on
short
mobile.
screen that you'd have to look at it on.
Yeah,
it looks fine.
But I think it is
Very
pretty good. I want to talk about one last thing that I noticed, and I don't know how they did this, or like also the attention to the detail. You see how I have the sidebar here, right? So if I close the sidebar and open it, you see this menu, it animates. Like, okay, so every time on window resize, they're animating these elements to the new position. Is that how you would do it?
Yeah.
It's pretty cool. Like that.
You've got to. So you see it there. You don't need to. The fact that you're just making the window size. What happens if you make the right-hand side smaller? Has he crashed again? Guys, let me know in the comments. Has he crashed again? Because this happened last time. Kabar's entered the studio. Tisk, tisk, tisk.
So I guess you were saying something about my fans.
I was saying something about your fans, and I also try to avoid using the P word. This is the second time. This is embarrassing, dude. This is the second time you've done Site of the Week, and you've crashed your own machine.
I blame Safari because my computer is running smooth. My GPU is burning. I comment. I would say it's because I'm sharing my screen through Safari because Chrome can't handle it. Can't handle our streaming service.
It's this maximalist attitude. That's what it is. 2 instances of this website running. I bet. How many tabs you got open on the right and left hand side there? Scroll down.
Quite a few. Quite a few, but I have this is one of the many spaces that I have, and I have.
Okay, so it's just one of many spaces. Okay.
Yes, and I have 2 Figma instances with many tabs, and I have cursor and. You know the meme? Everything is fine.
Yeah, I know the meme. That poor doggy thing.
Yeah. This is fine. Nothing is burning.
Nothing is wrong.
Okay.
You do it to yourself. You do.
So let's let me remove this, and also we can end it at everything is fine.
Cool. Should we move on to GPT-5?
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm going to close those instances.
Without the risk of sounding, extremist, OpenAI have won. Project Garlic scores 100% in Arc AGI. But what does it all mean? I suppose I didn't go back over that one and change the question. But after a massive response from Gemini 3, I've lost the tab that we are on. Code Red being called on at the OpenAI Bandcamp. I really can't find this tab. Where the hell is this tab? React? I've lost it. Oh, it's because the icon changes to a little red square on Comet, and I never know which that's the tab that's being shared. Anyway, sorry. So GPT 5.2 thinking as scoring 100%. And by the way, guys, I'm not benchmarks are the bane of all of our existence. It all comes down to real world usage and what you get on with. They're a nice indicator, but we never fall trap to thinking, oh my God, it's that amazing. But it's hard to ignore The one that I find hard, that's very hard to ignore, is the SWE bench, overtaking Opus on the SWE bench. Now, I've been using ChatGPT 5.2 today, guys, and my God, is it slow. My golly gosh, is it slow.
Through the API or where?
Through the API. It's a weird sound. Through the API. And through Warp Terminal, which is my terminal that I use, I set it on a pretty hard task. And because here's the thing, we talked about this last week when I talked about it in my video about running local models, right? A lot of these benchmarks, a lot of these one-shot things, they throw in a single page app or whatever it is. They're not very but once you put it into a code base where it's got to read loads of context, that's when they start to falter. Saying all that, I gave the GPT 5.2 a task where it was just like, go do this one little task. Don't worry about the rest of the code base. Honestly, I fixed about 4 or 5 bugs using Opus in the time that it was running. And then it still didn't fix it. Still didn't fix the bug that it was trying to figure out. So, it is what it is. But the real question, which we've been talking about recently, is like, does it actually even matter? Like, the everyday user, I think they're not really seeing. People are still stuck on GPT 4.0. They want 4.0 back. They don't care. They're not caring about.
The tone was better.
The tone, yeah, exactly, right. What makes a model good is not these benchmarks and not these numbers. It's the real world usage, and people still are more than happy with 4.0. So whilst OpenAI are barking up this tree of like AGI and the best model, people are still, they're like,
don't we have is it like a saying or something along like the lines when the moment you start to have a test
diminishing
or like
return?
A benchmark, it's obsolete?
Well, yeah, I mean, there's an argument to say that they're optimizing specifically for these benchmarks, but the thing is, I see it all over YouTube. Currently, is that people, us, you, I, the viewers, all of us, we look for that one magic pill that just tells us whether something's good or bad. When we've sort of lost the ability to even consider that actually things need a little bit of work, a little bit of time, a little bit of adjustment. But we're addicted to that one-shot prompt. We're addicted to those sort of bombastic headlines to say this is the best or this is the worst or whatever. We're losing that ability for nuance. Well, we've lost it completely. Do you know what I mean? But yeah, there is an argument to say that they are optimizing for these benchmarks, because I still showed you the benchmarks even though I have this opinion that they don't even matter.
Have you done any of the benchmarks yourself, the ArcAGI ones?
No.
Like, there are games you can play them, and there are like no instructions, so you have to do something, and I'm not going to spoil it. I've done like a few of them, and they can be tricky sometimes. But
what's your score?
20% less than ChatGPT. No, I don't know. I never got a score. You just get, or maybe I haven't done enough of it. But like you go to the game and there are like levels. So level 1 is simple, and then you figure it out, and then you advance the levels. But you get a feeling for it. Like maybe that is the human part. Like, okay, so I need to rotate the block, or I need to interact with that color, but not with that color. So it's that type of things. I guess for AI, it takes many runs. That's what my understanding is. It takes many runs to get all that necessary information. Okay, this is how I interact with this game. While for us humans, it's probably just order of magnitude easier because we are very efficient, right? We are like, our brains are like incredibly efficient, and the amount of data that we take visually and through sound and everything else is just like insanely huge, and the computation that we do at the same time. So what is interesting also about these models getting better at these AGI, at these like what are they called again? The ARC AGI tests is the cost, because it used to take like thousands and thousands of dollars to just do one test, and now it's just much less. I believe it was like Theo mentioned like $11 or something like this, something that was in thousands.
Well, funny you say that, because I wanted to just raise the price real quick, which is 21 in. Hang on, no, that's 5.2 Pro.
Should we share the screen?
Yeah, bring it on.
No.
Bring it on. If we go to 5.2, it's 175 in, $14 out, so it's gone up in price. But saying all that, you mentioned Theo. He released it, and I was in the comment section with people, and people are like tired. People are like, oh, like whatever, like, you know. And on the one hand, I get it. So I've got a couple of videos on LM Studio. If you look on my channel, which is there, that little thing over the side there, 0x5 and 5, or just search Samuel Gregory. And people are tired, right? And they're exhausted about all these new models that come out. And I said it surprises me, because we're at the cutting edge of technology. We're supposed to be excited about new technology. And look at how stagnant Apple was. And I know, you know, we're comparing apples and oranges potentially, but when Apple just weren't releasing any meaningful updates to any of their computers, and then people complained about that because there were no updates. Like, I for sure think we should celebrate any and all improvements to technology. However, in the name of crossing over 1,000 subscribers on our YouTube, right? What do you want to hear about these new models? Like, do you know, balancing that we should be celebrating progress, and we do want things to get better, rather than just kind of like dismissing it because it's just not the new model. I would like to make these sections more interesting and more kind of like, you know, maybe it's more anecdotes. Maybe you just don't want to hear about them at all because whatever. One guy was like, "Wake me when GPT-7 is out," sort of thing. And on the one hand, I get it, but on the other hand, it's like any progress on any progress should be celebrated. Like, I don't think we should just silently let things, progress and just not celebrate that. Basically, I've just said the same thing like 7 or 8 times, but I don't know. Let us know what you want to hear about these new models. But whatever. Sorry, Domenico, I brushed over this sort of stuff. Yeah, so LM Studio, I've released 2 videos on my account. So I downloaded Quen 3 Coder, and I downloaded DevStraw, and I set them up to run with Cursor and do my local models and whatever, because but there's a video that I did that I think I did a pretty good job of like breaking down what you need to look for when it comes to these models. Because again, when they've got small context windows, small context size, you can't plug that into your code base because it just runs out of space too quickly, unless there's something that I'm missing, and I've asked the open question in the video. But yeah, otherwise, LM Studio, you can just do basic chat with it and use open source models and stuff like that. You can also use Ollama. But yeah, let us know what you want to do with it. But I've done some pretty extensive testing with it. I even got it running on Claude Code as well. So I used Claude Code Router and LM Studio to use LM Studio on local models. All I'll say is I've got an M1 Max, and it took ages to run this stuff. If you've got anything kind of newer, I'd love to know what sort of results you're getting, but it took ages. And I think generally we are, because we're competing with H100s in the server that are running by these very, very big corporations, you know, so it's hard to beat that sort of performance. So yeah, anyway, GPT 5.2. I'm here for it, but not really going to affect my day-to-day, especially in coding. I don't know what they're going for at this point, because the normies are happy with 4.0 So yeah, let us know if what you're doing with ChatGPT, whether you use it for anything kind of cool. But they're just a meh company for me. Do you have anything to add to that?
No, my favorite model so far has been O1 Pro. Is it?
Is that really expensive
Pro
though,
or just O1? Yeah, like the best vibe coding I've done was with that. Like the best results that I've gotten. Maybe also on a note on what you asked the audience, maybe we could have like our own kind of like test, since we are a bit more like doing things like we're talking about the web space stuff, so anything with web design and development, maybe we could figure out a test that we could do, like
maybe
but that landing page that I have for flowing.to with that ribbon, and it's like multiple stages and it's quite complex. Maybe trying to see again and again how close a model can get to creating something like this with one prompt, or I don't know, 2 prompts.
It just wouldn't come from an authentic place for me though, just because I don't believe you can judge a model based on these one-shot benchmark-esque things, right?
Yeah. So how can we judge a model?
Yeah, well, yeah, exactly. You have to put in the time. You have to use them. I watched I think it's Theo's channel manager also has a YouTube channel, and he hit the nail on the head at the end of his video on his setup, because I want to release a video on my setup as well, actually. And he says that the real test is just sitting down and playing with them. Like, we can't be looking for these magic pills that just tell us everything we need to know. Like, we're getting fucking lazy, to be honest. I think we're just getting too lazy.
Yeah, but like these models are very non-deterministic, so we have to have a way to compare them and do it with repetition. Like, we can't do one run of one prompt, right?
That's just fundamentally impossible to like. Yeah, we're dealing. And Ben, this guy, he says this in his video. He says we can't, because they're so indeterministic, because they're so indeterministic, like it further exemplifies your everyday usage, the way that you like to use code, the way that you like to use things,
Yeah, and the point is, with further prompting would be based on the output, and because the output is non-deterministic, the prompts that you give it brings you further and further away from the original thing and makes it infinitely more difficult to compare them the more you prompt. So each prompt is exponentially adding to the non-deterministic nature of it. So it leads us to nothing other than these like benchmarks that are very useless.
Sure. Yeah, exactly. So which brings me to my point, is how can we bring this news to you in a valuable way? What do you want to hear? Because being benchmarks are useless. I can give you anecdotes on my personal usage, which again may differ from your perception. You might like its overall attitude. On the other side, it's hard to switch from one model provider to another just to see it performs better, especially if you're working. Yeah, and I agree. So I was looking at Codex because of GPT-5, and I want to give GPT a go, but I'm just thinking about all the agents that I have set up in Claude Code, all of the rules. It's not that hard, but I totally understand what you mean. It's like, and that's what these companies want. That's why Apple put up these walled gardens. That's why Webflow put these walled gardens. And that's why Android make it just a little bit more difficult to kind of move around and whatever. Just a little bit of friction, or the fear of moving around is enough to stop people doing it. And I go back to something I said last week, like this time last year, maybe a little bit before, we were all handwriting code, and now we're like splitting hairs on the differences between one model and the next. Like, we are spoiled, to say the least, right? So at the end of the day, if you're happy, if you have no need to search for another tool, stick with what you know, use it, and then come back in a year's time where there might be some meaningful updates. But if you just don't have the energy, time, or whatever to be looking at new models, why bother clicking on a video that reviews the new ChatGPT 5.2? Like, and we were talking about this before the show as well, how eccentric YouTube videos have got. They make you believe that 5.2 will literally change your mind, impregnate you, even if you're a guy, and literally set the world on fire because it's that good. And it's just not the case. And these YouTubers are really, really selling something that's really just not worth getting hyped up about. But I don't know. I don't know what you. ChatGPT to extract data from a doc, turn it into pieces of CSV. Yeah, and that's straightforward. Like, I don't think you need the latest model to even kind of do all that kind of stuff. You know, it's pretty standard behavior. Sorry, guys, I'm reading this comment here. What Domenico is doing with his ChatGPT usage, splitting up docs. I mean, to be fair, that'll take 2 seconds to whack into Claude, right? It's not like you've got a whole ecosystem around it. But again, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. If it's getting the job done, stick with what you're using.
I guess what you can do while your AI is working for you is to test other AIs.
Yeah. That's another thing, man. Like, you know, we need to learn to chill out a little bit. Like, AI is doing a lot for us, yet we try and fill our time with like more stuff. It's like just chill, you know. Oh, anyway, whatever. Too many. Whatever. We'll talk about React. The worst thing vibe coders could ever have not had the foggiest idea about has happened. There's a new React server component exploit that's been given the CVSS score of 10, and shit is on fire. So that is my way of saying that this is actually a pretty big deal. That,
so 10 is, it's 10 out of 10, right? So it's the worst.
Critical, yeah.
Hack, yeah.
You can run the server is the safest place to be. It's where you store your environment variables. It's where you run code that means that people are authenticated, that they it's really like the last line of defense, which should be bulletproof. Yet with an exploit that React have exploited, revealed on their server components, you can run server actions with zero permissions. Like, you can do anything. You can expose environment variables, you can contact databases, you can do all this. And the nerdiness of it is basically, it's in JavaScript, everything is an object. Everything is an object. Even functions are objects. Objects are objects, obviously, but everything boils down to an object. And objects have a hidden, in fact, if we were to inspect, I don't know how we do this. Console log. I want to try and make an object. So maybe if we go const, try and bring that up here. Const object equals new object. Object. And then we console log dot obj. So you see this? Can you see that? It's like got this.
No, we still see the.
Oh, sorry guys. Yeah. How would I do this now? Can I? Maybe I will
share the window.
Maybe I'll share the window. Yeah. Stop. Share screen. Window. Boom. Let's do that. So what I did there was I just created a new object, right? And then console logged the object, and automatically it's got this prototype. And then inside of here, you've got all of this secret stuff. And some of this stuff, and it basically exploits the fact of this prototype that you can then you can access other bits of code on the server through this. So there was the get method. They were able to call the secret get method on objects that that have data stored in them. So, you know, this is all incredibly like nerdy, but just to know that this is kind of how they've exploited it. And if you're running anything anything on React, anything Next.js, whatever, update to the latest version that you can. Really simple. You can ask Claude Code to do it, and it even worked out that Payload haven't updated to the latest version of React, so it's the patch version that you want to update to. And then on top of that, within the last day, they found 2 more exploits that you need to update to. So if you updated based on this this exploit that's just happened, they found 2 more. One of them was a denial of service exploit. Another one was source code exposure in this. So it's like, yeah, shit is on fire. It's pretty bad. Yeah. It's pretty bad. The denial of service one is I don't think it's a 10, but it's critical. Denial of service. Here we go. Okay, so it's 7.5. There you go. So, sorry, I'm not sharing my screen.
Still pretty bad.
There you go. 7.5. So, man, and this has been. By the way, this has been in React since day dot. So they've got to provide this patch on all of the versions of React. Actually, no, has it been day dot or maybe day dot of server components, which is like a year or 2 old or whatever. So there's a lot of there's going to be a lot of websites out there that use this version. So yeah, pretty big deal. And if you're running any websites on React, I would just update to the latest patch version. So take your version and just add a number to the 3rd digit onto it, and should fix it. But yeah. Pretty crazy. And it goes into what you were saying as well about like software just becoming absolute garbage at the moment.
Yeah.
Like,
everything. Like my browser crashed.
Mate, I don't know if you could say anything about your crashing.
I might have 1,000 tabs, but my computer should be able to handle that. We are talking about HTML. I don't know. I feel like we see with this level of carelessness with AI, like software will just get more and more trash. We will have less optimization in most things, and yeah.
I speculated it's in part due to the pressures that developers are being put under to deliver fast.
That is true. Yes.
Quality assurance cuts on QA testing and things like that. Like it's gone from, agile was this idea of delivering value quickly in order to learn and bring that back into the tool or the product to learn what actually people want. But you still need a robust testing process to go along with that. And cuts are being made and all the rest of that. Maybe this information or this commitment or dedication to quality is just getting lost. But I just don't know. I just do not know. I'm just going to, oh, wow. I've got a video feed open. So maybe that's why I was lagging apparently. Should we talk about comments?
Yeah.
The comment section?
Do we have? We have comments on the, I believe, like on the current Webflow situation.
Yeah. So basically, this is the comment section where we take a look about what you guys have to say. Let us know what you think about anything you've heard or whatever in the comments, and we'll try and take a look at it. But the latest video, the last week we spoke about Webflow needing more creators. They seem to be disappearing, and we're getting a lot of commentary kind of agreeing, really, even though, because we spoke about some new cool tools that are being released by some content creators. Overall, the content is just far less, and I don't know whether I'm in a certain algorithmic bubble, but I'm just not seeing much in the way of Webflow. I mean, a lot of people here are saying about the product position being changed. They're more guided towards enterprise clients, which I do think is a big thing. Like that's, I think that's just.
But what I don't understand there, like trying to see it from Webflow's perspective, why would you sacrifice the community for going towards enterprise. You can go towards the enterprise and still have the community. That's my issue. Like, even if you want to be an enterprise tool, you want people to choose your tool and build with your tool, and that is your community. So you nurture them, you help them, you want them to succeed because they use your tool to, in this case, towards enterprise. And yeah, that is a big part. Another one, like the second comment about Framer sponsoring everything, which is also true. Framer is sponsoring everyone, and it looks like everybody's trying to make content for Framer. They also they gave away 100% of the revenue from templates to their creators. So as a creator, if you would make a Framer, if you make a Framer template, you get 100% of that money. And that also made it so that many people started making templates and sell it and just keep the money and talk about it. I think that is also true. That is a big one. And yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I agree. People are jumping ship. I think that was one of the. I just wanted to align what we're talking about here as well, just because, you know, what WizKey8838 rolls off the tongue is talking about here is what Webflow are doing. You know, and this does play part in the conversation. I'm happy to chat about it, but like, I think my commentary is more about the community creating content for the rest of the community, irrespective of Webflow's goals and where they're directing their attention to. Like, this no doubt will have a knock-on effect, because maybe there's no features to talk about because they're only releasing those features to their enterprise clients or whatever. They did, however, just release today. They've GA'd the Webflow cloud storage stuff, which has been in beta for a while. And I'm thinking about making content on it, and I've got a course on the content. But to be really frank, it's not performing great, and it's very hard for me to justify time to create tutorials that just people aren't seeing, or / people aren't watching, people aren't enjoying. And I wonder why people aren't enjoying them as much, because the content is being created, but I'm not getting the watch hours that I used to. People do like the yearly stuff. I'll probably will do a yearly video of, you know, the breakdown of Webflow Conf, but that just seems like I'm just cashing in on the stuff that's doing well. But it's guys, it's a two-way street. You know, I've got to be energized to do stuff that I'm passionate about, and also that it's a marriage, isn't it? It's a Venn diagram of what people like to watch and what you enjoy doing. So, but yeah, I did see Timothy Ricks might be still kind of leading the charge, and that's what makes me think I'm in a bit of an algorithmic bubble a little bit, because I'm not getting them on my feed. But what else have we got here as well? Like, yeah, well, just on that alignment thing, I just wanted to bring it back to, like, why are community members not producing content, and how that plays into this enterprise client direction that Webflow are going along to. Content creators, hype machines. I mean, I don't necessarily agree with that they are hype machines. I think that, again, it's that Venn diagram, right? We've got to balance what we enjoy talking about and also what stuff you want to watch. So I don't think they're constantly chasing the hype. And this is the comment I wanted to get to. No one, and it basically echoes exactly what you say, Kabaza. No one really knows where Webflow is heading anymore. Features announced and dropped, memberships gone, e-commerce left behind, random AI bits without a clear plan, then price hikes, push forward, and then push with enterprise. I think downtime is probably to do with Cloudflare, not Webflow, but people don't necessarily know that. They just see my Webflow website is down or whatever. No, actually, no, they had two, didn't they? I had two a couple of months ago, where it just kind of, and I think it was to do with Cloudflare, but either way, it was they took a lot of responsibility for that for whatever reason. But the competition is there, and people aren't watching the content that's being put out because they are distracted by other things. So I don't know what the conclusion is on this.
I disagree with the part that there aren't enough demand or like same demand for Webflow developers. I believe that is still growing. More and more companies are using Webflow, and there is more demand.
Who's saying that there's no demand for Webflow developers?
It was in the same comment.
Was it? Still right platform, still from where? Oh yeah, because the demand for Webflow developers isn't what it used to be. Yeah, no, I disagree with that too. I think a lot of businesses.
The platform is absolutely growing. What we are talking about is not like the platform not doing well. It's that aspect of caring for the community, and like also Webflow used to kind of lead with Webflow University, so the community was like very excited about creating content, but that has changed. So, but it is what it is in a way.
It is what it is.
I guess they are trying to get back on track, but we'll see.
We'll see. And just a quick shout out to someone we've had on the show. I don't know whether you guys have seen this. This is probably before we had even had this separate channel, right? When it was on my channel. But Raymmar, who's a channel friend of ours, just been hired by Replit. He was letting me know what was going on behind the scenes. So I did know this was happening, but he's finally been hired. And this has honestly been a dream of his. Like again, offline, him and I nerded out over Replit. We spoke about Replit on the show. If you don't know what Replit is, it's one of these, I think, better vibe code platforms that does a really, really good job of building really robust and, dare I say, enterprise level apps, coded apps. Funny, Connor Finlayson is here, and that was one of the comments that someone misses Connor because he's not producing stuff. He's doing stuff on. I saw a video with him doing stuff with MemberStack. I think he's doubling down on that or whatever. He's kind of like, I don't know. I haven't seen much from him for a while. But again, he pivoted away from Webflow. I pivoted away from Webflow.
Yeah.
But yeah. There was this content creator called Kabaza a little while ago that was doing Webflow content, but I haven't seen him for a while either.
Yeah.
He's evaporated
working
into
on his community, on his product, and trying to launch that.
Yeah. Gotta go where the money is.
And exactly, and even with the product that I'm trying to launch, we started with just trying to do Webflow stuff, and now we are trying to do not just Webflow, but help anyone. So that is also showing that I can't count on just focusing on Webflow. But very happy for Raymmar, and very well deserved.
Yeah, really, really cool.
He's one of the reasons why I got into Webflow.
Oh,
yeah,
that's nice.
Yeah,
that's nice.
We had that old debate about WordPress versus Webflow on Facebook. It was.
Mate, that was a money earner video for a while. That was always being like recommended on any kind of research tool. It's like Webflow versus WordPress.
Yeah.
Still the case. Like loads of comments on our videos are talking about WordPress. People going back to WordPress.
I don't know. To me, WordPress doesn't exist anymore. We miss Maguire. We miss Maguire. Absolutely, man. He was just so good. Webflow should have.
Now?
He did. He started a startup around AI and teaching, and I don't know. He wanted to push content weekly and update us, but then he stopped. So I don't know.
Oh yeah, I remember that. Yeah.
Oh, well, he was really good. So a learning for like any team, any company, you will have someone like Maguire, like a North Star, like amazing, but you have to build systems around them. So because they probably will leave eventually, that you don't lose everything, that you can still use the systems to somehow continue. We have another comment. Replit is amazing, and that was a great hire for them.
Yeah, he's big on community. I think he lives and breathes community, like Raymmar, like even offline,
Yeah.
he would just talk about, he fundamentally believes that it's the secret sauce to like most aspects of a business.
It is,
which
yeah.
arguably he's right, you know.
Yeah.
The
It's
community
in
is
a way
the thing that,
word of the mouth, right?
yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's exactly what it
Yeah.
is. So I'll take a moment to say, by the way, if you are watching on YouTube, give us a like, smash the like button,
subscribe, because we are like closing on 10K by before the end of the year.
Yeah, and we really appreciate all your support in the last probably less than 6 months. We've been doing well, and we have some really cool. I mean, we still got visual updates in Cursor. I don't know whether you guys saw that, visual updates in Cursor, and some new Figma features as well. So we'll blast through these next points, and then we'll get to the juicy stuff. But to what's the new channel again for us on X? Is this? Can you screenshot your screen with the QR code in the top left there, or top right? I don't know what side it's on for you. Cmd+AI show is what you Cmd.
Let me see if I can do this.
You have what, the screenshot thing?
Yeah.
You might have to save the photo, but you might be able to do it from the screenshot screen. Which is so, oh my god, I'm hating liquid glass. Like, oh.
Yeah, we didn't cover this, by the way. Since you mentioned it, let's talk about it briefly. The guy at Apple, who was responsible for Apple for this new style, the glass, he left for Meta, for Facebook, and they didn't expect this because Apple does not show someone in their videos knowing that they will leave. So it caught them by surprise. But what is really interesting, like there were some leaked comments on him leaving. People at Apple were really happy. There were people celebrating because they didn't really like him. The guy,
I thought he was hardware though. I thought he was hardware design, not software.
No, he had a background in fashion, and he did the liquid glass stuff that is also like physical world, bringing it here. And it does, like, yes, you need to get inspired by the physical world for your UI, but not literally, not this way, not sacrificing so much. So end of story. People are really happy at Apple that he left, and they are looking forward, like I am looking forward for the next generation of iOS and the new designs, moving away from liquid glass, hopefully. And I don't know. It's like
it's kind of less about liquid glass. Saying that, I turned down because you've got an option now to like chill out on the liquid glass stuff. It's more about like the actual implementation of the operating system, like the mail app just does not work properly. Like, I don't know how I would find email if I didn't have a keyboard attached to it, because whenever you just go on it, the search box is like disabled, so I have to press Command F to get it to work, and then that's my way of finding stuff. Little things like that. When I open up a new mail, it pops up over to the left hand side of the screen and then just jumps to the center, and it's just all these little things that have nothing to do with liquid glass, although the stress and whatever of having to do everything,
the Photos
too much
app, for example, as well.
It's just it's crazy.
It was good. The Photos app was good, and they ruined it. Now it's again tolerable, but it was good, and then they changed it and made it worse, and then anyway, that guy is gone
to Meta. Nice one. Thanks for subscribing, and
thank you.
Appreciate it. Speaking of tolerance and tolerating, Anthropic have donated the MCP the Model Context Protocol to Linux. It's I don't know what to make of this, to be honest. Whether this is like a last ditch effort to be like, just can you sort this mess out for us? But It's definitely something they've made some notable improvements on the last few weeks with the tool search tool, things like that. But there's definitely a very, very divisive, the ambitions of MCP, if you don't know what they are, it's a natural language wrapper for APIs. So if you want to update a database, you don't have to like send it a JSON bit of code and all this. You just say update the name and address to this, and it will figure out everything it needs to do to interact with that API. But yeah, celebrating all this success all the way down to the Linux Foundation. It's a new agentic AI foundation that has actually been started by Anthropic, Block, OpenAI with support from Google, Microsoft, and AWS and Bloomberg. Bit of a random one there. And yeah, they've sort of donated it to, it's basically in essence open source now. And they'll look after it. And the AI agentic foundation, the Agentic Artificial Intelligence Foundation will join by Goose and the Agents MD. I love Agents MD. I wish Claude Code would adopt Agents MD. It's just a standardized format to give your AI agent certain rules. But yeah, and so we'll see whether they make whether the community can kind of fix it or help it, or whether some people outside of Claude's little weird bubble that they have can sort of breathe some life into it. But you know, I think a lot of devs are really reconsidering MCPs just because they're just a pain in the ass to manage.
Yeah, and how does this work? Like, the foundation accepts this, obviously. Like, you can't just say, okay, I have this trash, I'm donating it to you, right? So there has been talks, and the foundation has to accept it. And like, do they have to give like any assurance on if they will continue developing it, if they will continue supporting and things like this? What if there are like, I don't understand how that part works. But I mean, also,
I'll go on.
Like, on the same note, essentially, what does it mean? What does this mean for the MCP protocol if the Linux is taking it in the foundation? Does it mean that they believe in it, right? That to me signals something more important than the whole thing, potentially. If they believe in it and they think this is the future, that might be interesting to talk about. Yeah,
potentially. I mean, at the end of the day, this means that the community will be able to drive the progress of the protocol, right? And it gives it a platform in which to be able to support that. Maybe it's funding it, money being brought in by the because it's probably a charity or something. It's yet to be seen what comes out of this, and it's yet to be seen exactly why they have donated and why they've accepted it, why the AI Foundation have accepted it. It's an interesting move. I think it's a positive move, because again, Claude, Anthropic have just been throwing everything at. It felt like there were 3 weeks last week where every week we had some sort of update, some sort of blog post, some sort of admittance to like the difficulty of MCP. So it's in a bit of a weird spot. But it basically piggybacks tool use, right? So by definitions, AIs or when you call an AI, you can give it a bunch of tools that it can use. The simplest one is for it to be able to tell the time, because an AI does not know what the date and time is. So you give it the tool to be able to do that, gives it extra capabilities. MCPs are an extension off of that idea for them to be able to call live data. It's that API aspect to it. So the idea is certainly good, and more and more AIs are getting trained on tool use. It's just whether MCP is the best way to do it. I don't know. I've got a MCPs running all of the time, but there are times where again I switch them on and I accidentally leave them on, and then I restart a new session and then they're all turned on again. It's like, fuck's sake. I did it today. I was like, jam. I'm like trying to work, and it kept on like compacting my conversation. I was like, why is this compacting the conversation all the time? /MCP, all of my MCPs are turned on. It's like, Jesus. So I turned a bunch of them off. So yeah, definitely And I want to try and use skills. I want to try and leverage skills. But anyway, MCPs. Let's move on. Quick one on Apple. They've released. I'm not sure. This was a video from another YouTube channel called Better Stack. So I don't actually know what the timeline is on this, but it was interesting nonetheless. That Apple have released a open source image generation model. Codename Zulu is asking what MCPs are. Well, actually, no. I just explained to you. They are tools. It's a wrapper around APIs that you can give to an AI. Wrapper around APIs that you can give to AIs to be able to access live data. That's in essence what it is. But yeah, STARflow. And it's an image generation thing, which, by the way, I tried setting up before this show, but I couldn't. I don't even think it works on Mac. So it's developed by Apple, but it's actually just something that can probably just Linux or probably something on PCs or something, but it doesn't work. Anyway, That's not really the point. The point is that they've released this open source image generation model, which uses something called the novel transformer autoregressive flow architecture.
Okay.
Yes, you heard that right. But it's a new way an efficient way to generate images. So I think the bigger question is like, 1, it's open source. 2, it's Apple. 3, it's AI. Never did I think I'd hear those 3 things in the same sentence, to be honest. But here we are. We're with STARflow, and you can go and download it and use it now if you've got a PC.
You don't have a PC?
I don't have a PC. To be fair, it could be something I'm setting up. I basically just followed these instructions here. And it was just, he's even got a setup script. So you just run the setup scripts and it should do everything for you, but it's not. And I don't know why.
Do you think I can do it?
Ciao, Domenico. Cheers for your contributions. Sorry?
Do you think it's simple enough that I could do it?
Yeah, look. This is it. This is it. And then you run that with a command, a cat playing a piano, and then it's done. Or then you can break it into you can play around with
you can.
The images are tiny. I think they're like 256 by 256, so they're tiny images that it can generate. But I saw someone in the comments of the video that I watched, and at the end of the day, the quality isn't great, So which is why they've released one. Oh, Claude is a contributor. Look, someone's vibe coding on it. At the end of the day, the results speak for themselves. It's not a great images, but the progress is there. We're here to celebrate progress. But I wouldn't be rushing to generate your images with this yet, because they're just not competing with the likes of other image generation models.
Nano Banana Pro.
Did you see my video that I released this week? Claude Code on your phone.
No, I haven't.
So I think it's a really good video. It was sponsored. It's a sponsored video, but I never work with sponsors who I don't, I think is a really cool idea. It's basically an app that you run on your phone that uses Claude Code under the hood, and you can just generate apps with it, and it's really good, really good. They sponsored a video, so I would use their app, and I asked my brother, because here's the thing. This is peek behind the curtains here. I was, as a developer, I'm still worried about AI. I'm still worried about the future of AI as much as I'm all in on it. And I was thinking, what industries are not affected by AI? And one of those is what do they call it? Like white collar or blue collar? Basically, people like plumbers, and my brother who's a painter decorator, those sorts of jobs. So I'm like, well, how can I empower those types of jobs? And I was thinking, why don't I just ask my brother if he could have any app in the world that would make his job easier, what would he do? And he's a painter decorator. He was like, well, I'd love to be able to just take a photo of something and then just make the change, just so I can show my client their idea. Often he'll have a husband and a wife. One wants to paint the wall this color, another wants to paint the wall that color. Take a photo, generate the image, done. So I did that. I filmed my brother. I filmed a phone call with my brother, and I built the app, and it works really well. I'm trying to get it on the App Store now. I'll let you know when that's done, because I'll probably just do a one-off £3.50 charge for it.
Yeah, that is cool.
Yeah, and uses Nano Banana, and it works really, really well. And I'm just able just to sit on the toilet with my phone and add features to this app, and it's just so fun. It's so fun. Why am I talking about this? I don't know.
I don't know either, but that is a fun one, because I thought about same thing for my brother. He used to work in a garden automation company, so doing like stuff for gardens, and some part of that work was to do planning. So I thought, like, why don't you like take the drone, take a picture of like the whole garden, and then like add trees or like bushes and stuff like this with AI. So it's essentially the same idea, right? So just adding things to the images. And I did try it at that time with ChatGPT, and the results were not really that good. But I can imagine it being like really well with working well with Nano Banana Pro, and you could add like features like drag and dropping some elements. So it looks easier for the user, but behind the scenes it's just a prompt saying like add this to this place. Speaking of which, it to me it sounds like the visual editor that Cursor is building.
Yeah, we'll get into that. But yeah, I guess we were just talking about image generation, and I used Nano Banana 3. Nano Banana 2.2 was the default one that it used, and it did a right job. It was all right, but then I was like, because you can. It's cool. You can SSH into the app itself, so I can then work on it on my computer and edit it. So we added Nano Banana 3, and the quality was great. Yeah, man. I think they're pretty cool. I think these are I call them normies. These guys never, and this is why the app or the video was so close to my heart. It's like it gives people like my brother the ability to dream and make notable improvements in their lives. But yeah, if you go onto my channel 0x5m5, man, I plug my channel a lot. Then you can watch the latest video. It's only 10 minutes, so it's all right. Watch it at 2x speed. But yeah, I just built this app for my brother, and it's even better now. So I'm just trying to launch it and whatever, and everyone keeps telling me just to launch it, and it's cool. I don't think I'm going to be a millionaire off it, don't get me wrong, but it was still pretty cool.
Who knows?
Who knows? Let's move on to Figma. So Figma has just become the Photoshop killer. It's literally killed Photoshop. There are some notable updates made to our favorite web design tool that branch further into Photoshop territory. So they've added object erase. Wait, let's have a little look at this video here. Oh no, I'm not showing my screen. Sorry, guys. Object erase. Well, it's probably the end of the video, isn't it? Extensions, isolate object, and expand image. And these aren't these aren't crazy additions. Here you go. You can extend the image and stuff. I've been using Affinity. I've been loving Affinity's extend feature, and it does a really, really good job. It just had me interested here, just because we use Figma mostly for the web and app design, which is vector-based, not really pixel-based. But I think they're sort of adding features here that, yes, we will do stuff like this for our apps, for sure. But this becomes slowly but surely becoming add effects as well, and all that kind of stuff. It's slowly becoming. I mean, we do our thumbnails in here, which is traditionally a pixel-based kind of editing tool. This probably will kill Photoshop for a lot of people, just as they're adding more and more of these photo elements. This is genuinely, this is one reason why I kind of wanted Affinity with the AI feature, because of the object fill. If I can somehow work, justify a way to have the rest of Figma's features in my workflow, then I might move on to Figma. But these are really interesting photo-centric features they're adding.
Yeah, we are creating our thumbnails in like Figma, and I use Figma for so many things, and it is becoming like more like a tool that does it all. And yeah, like Photoshop, it takes ages to open, and then you have files, individual files. If you think about it that way, like Figma has made it so much easier, because you can sometimes you just do something in whatever file. It doesn't matter. You need to do something quickly, you just open it, do it wherever. Something that you can't do with Figma and with Photoshop, and we take sometimes these things for granted, but Figma fundamentally changed the whole process of doing things. And also, like, you do it and then your team can pick it up and continue it. Like, imagine I upload something and I just tell my team to continue where I left. And with these images, image editing tools, we'll be just doing more of that inside of Figma.
Yeah, I've used AI generated stuff for some of our photos. I think there was one I remember where your hand was like cut off. You were making like an expression, and I AI generated the rest of your hands and put it into a thumbnail. So these sorts of little quality of life things do come in handy.
So even again, I'm not real.
You're not real in one of our thumbnails anyway. But available right now in the Figma Design and Figma Draw. To all users of full seat professional organization and enterprise plans. So yeah, pretty interesting. Let's see where it goes. But the real reason why you're here is, Cursor launched a revolutionary new visual editor. It's probably the end of Webflow, to be honest. Did you want to get an example up? Did you want to play it, or shall I do mine?
I do have a simple example. You can show,
or we do my one, which is
we can do both.
Yeah. Well, let me. Yeah, go on. Let me present my cursor whilst you get yours up as well.
Okay, so I have mine open here. So
Sweet.
Right here, you see I'm building like some animation tool. This is a tool I'm using to let me actually disable the cursor, the new update. So this is what I'm building, right? I'm building like an animation tool to do this type of stuff, and then add it to your project. Now, if I want in the past, if I wanted to change the design, the HTML and the CSS, essentially, I would have to come here and just change it manually or ask AI to do it. Now I can click this button, and then I can click whatever element. Here I have this div. Once I click it, this like design looking tool pops up, and I can literally just play with the flexbox. This is like super cool. I can do a grid. So yeah, and this is really nice. And I don't know why the position is on the very top for whatever reason. But whatever, like this is like really nice. And look, this looks very much like what Webflow has. The padding, the margin are here, the appearance, text, color, like pretty much everything is here. You can add tokens. And what I really like about this whole setup is this design versus CSS, by the way, that you can also see the CSS stuff and just change them here, because sometimes this UI becomes too cumbersome. Let's say I want to add a CSS calc. Like in Webflow, you do it in the UI, and it's like you need multiple clicks to do a calc, and then you get out of it, and going back and forth and changing the numbers becomes like a hassle. Here, you can do it like in this new layout. So that is also nice. And obviously you have your elements here. They call it components. Now, what is really interesting about this, something that I didn't know and you pointed out, I thought that when you do these changes, it's done. But it's not exactly. So the way this works, this is essentially Chrome developer tools visualized. Because like if you go to your Google Chrome and check your code, you essentially have all of these, but in different view. Now you have this in this visual way, but that is just changing what we are seeing here and not the actual code. It's not changing the actual code. Once we are done with playing around with it, you click apply, and then it adds those changes as a prompt, as you see, display from block to flex, row to column, and blah 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 for that element, and then it goes on and does it. So it's still prompt based, which is really funny. It is something about this, to me, is extremely funny, that you are doing like flex alignment visually and then applying it with like we are burning tokens, we are burning down trees. I know this is a joke, but we're burning through tokens for something that we have already done visually. But I didn't know why, but you can explain it better. You mentioned that, you said like if you're using Tailwind, you don't want to change stuff in line and just randomly add CSS. It has to know to go to the source. Like if I'm changing this, I'm not just changing this class or this element. This is maybe a design token coming from somewhere else. So that's why it goes to the AI, and the AI knows, okay, that's the context. That's how it should be done.
There you go. You explain it beautifully. You explain it beautifully. Nice. Yeah, because again, it might be that you're using another language. You're using a certain class naming system or something like that. It has that, as you say, context. So it makes sense. You don't want inline styles everywhere. But it would be nice, if they can figure out a way that again, you don't want to run AI with every single change that you make, because you might be experimenting, you might be exploring, right? You might be like, do I want it left? Do I want it center? Do I want it right? All this kind of stuff. You don't want to run an AI command over that. But I guess the only downside here is that it is using AI, which means it's open to hallucination. So like, maybe they've got a system, maybe they've trained their model or whatever. I'm guessing it just uses cursor, or can you just select? You can select the model that it runs on, right?
You can select the model. I was using
Composer, sorry, not cursor.
Wait.
What?
This is kind of funny because I was using max mode, GPT 5.1 Codex Max, to change the alignment of a flexbox.
Those poor trees. Yeah. It reasoned for about trees. See, that should not have, if you switch that to Composer now, if you just undo that or make some more changes, go to Composer will just do it like that. Chat GPT,
it takes time.
Sorry, it's so long. But yeah, it's pretty cool. It raises the question, who is this for? Is this going to, they mention on the Twitter thread, this is going to bring designers and developers closer together. I actually think it will tear them apart, because a developer who really just, many of them don't know or care about the design, they're kind of encouraged now to make a little tweak here or there. I hope that on the enterprise plan you can turn this mode off or switch this mode off. But it's an interesting feature. It's something we want, but it just goes to show again how perfect the UI is for Webflow, how they've kind of nailed that. No one's really brought out anything groundbreaking. So was that it?
Webflow, that
was Composer, right?
Yeah, that was Composer. Yeah, true. Okay, like Webflow really nailed down, and even though some folks still saying like Framer looks a bit neater, maybe it's like the contrast and the color, and it's a bit simpler, but still like Webflow, there is nothing that has come that is better than Webflow, like fundamentally better. But again, like this I really liked it. I really liked having the idea of like, maybe for if I'm doing calc, something like this would be nice with Webflow, or like clamp. Especially with calc, it can get really long, the syntax you have. So
the only thing it doesn't have is, obviously, you can't drag and drop elements into this, right? You can't drag a form element, you can't drag an input, you can't drag a button. So you have to first prompt the UI, get the UI or at least the framework in which you can then edit. This is an editor, not like a creation tool, right? So that's the only other thing to consider here. So again, just I wonder who do you think this is for? Does this fit into your workflow? Does this fit into an imaginary workflow that you don't quite use, but you can see that?
Yeah, I can see this coming. So what I have here, I can see this useful. So what I have here, I'm building this as a prototype. Well, the UI here is a prototype. The main thing is this, right? The controls that I'm adding, like the essentially an animation engine for this type of animations is what I'm building, like as a mini tool. And here, like these buttons and the HTML for these are generated with AI. So I'm asking AI, hey, add that button and that paragraph. And then it decided to give it, let's say, this border color. I actually didn't. This is like AI taste. Why should a paragraph look like a box? Whatever. It does. So for something like this, I could see it useful. So instead of asking AI to go change the style, blah blah, I'll just come here and let's say I don't like the background, I can just remove it, or I don't like the border, I just remove it. Done. Instead of like fiddling with the prompt and like asking, it took me 2 clicks.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah,
so
it's good.
In some areas this could make sense.
Yeah, it's definitely, I mean, I was obviously being bombastic at the beginning here saying it's killed Webflow. It doesn't replace like a creation design tool, but it's definitely a lot of Webflow people were thinking about bouncing and going, they're all questioning whether Cursor is the tool for them. And for a lot of those people it's not, because they still want to create, they still want to design, but this will certainly make the transition a lot better, that they can actually handle the thing that they've created, because they again, they don't want to write code or they don't know what to prompt. It's nice, very, very welcome addition. I just worry that Cursor is getting very, very bloated.
Yeah, like, man, the UI, the model, let me see if I can show it. Like, when I want to choose the model, sometimes, let's see if I do this. Sometimes you see this window that pops up next here, this little window, it pops up here, like on the left. Like, it happens a lot of the times, like all the times it happens. And it happens with one of the models and not the other one. Like, this is the tiniest thing. Like, I want to read what it is and then I have to read on the other side. Like, the UI is broken. So yeah, and even this editor and versus the agent view, or like the way you prompt, it changes all the time. It makes me question, like, why is it like this in this project? Why is it like that in another project? So it is very bloated, and I feel like a lot of this is because of it being very bloated.
And they're moving fast.
It is just,
they're just adding and adding and adding features, and it probably just needs a bit of a reset. And like, what are people using? What can we get rid of?
And I think this is normal for an industry that hasn't figured out yet.
Exactly.
I feel like this is like, I don't know, like 2015 or so. No, prior to Webflow, like when WordPress was still figuring out templates, like it was so messy. It is still so messy. But after Webflow figured out UI for code, especially like UI for front code, is what Webflow actually like solidified and figured it out. Every single tool after is just a copy of Webflow. It's just like naturally a very like, even this is like a bad copy of Webflow. Right?
Yeah.
And even they might not, I don't know if they copied literally Webflow or not, but like the whole industry like decided to go this direction because
it's a logical conclusion, right?
Yes.
It's a logical conclusion to land on.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. So we still haven't figured out the proper UI for AI, in my opinion. Like, yes, there are like talks about like AI doesn't need UI. I still disagree. Like, I still feel like we want to have control because we're such visual creatures. We want to have that level of that, or like that form of information.
There's
Anyway,
there's an interesting video because OpenAI have just celebrated 10 years, which is crazy if you think about it.
Crazy.
But the opening thing, they talk about the inception of ChatGPT, which is obviously prompt-based input for AI, where that was the thing. That was the thing that made people realize none of this is possible without ChatGPT, because they realize what you can do with text input. And they just sort of give a little brief discussion, or he mentions like that's how they landed on it. They didn't realize that text input was so intuitive and powerful compared to other forms of input that they had found. So it might not be ideal, but it's the one that makes the most sense, and I don't doubt that others have been explored. And in some ways this is, you don't need to know that this is writing a prompt, but because you had that chat window open, like what would happen if I know what happens, because that's how I learned. When you have that chat window closed, it opens up, but all you need to do is abstract that away, and then you've got your AI. Be nice if they actually, let's speculate, be nice if they make this like open source. Well, it is open source because it's Cursor, but like a way to add certain controls that you often use. Maybe it's drop shadow, or maybe it's I don't know, maybe it's adding tailwind drop down to the things or whatever. But code name Zulu has said he's enjoyed using or she, I don't know, the boy or girl, boy by the looks of things, using VS Code. So although this is Cursor, we did a showcase on Pencil a few weeks ago, which started out this idea of like, it won't take Figma long to either build a plugin for Cursor or VS Code, or it won't take Cursor long to build this feature in. So, but Pencil could be the thing on VS Code. It's a lot. It could be your answer if you're into this sort of stuff.
But at the end of the day, all of this is still in development, hasn't been figured out. So Webflow is adding AI, and Cursor, being an AI tool, is adding visual editor. That's basically two different directions moving towards the same thing. They are trying to own the whole vertical of creating for the web with AI and with visual input all in one place.
It's hard to know where it stops and where it begins, right? What goes back to what you're talking about with the landing page. What constitutes a landing page? Like, what is the product? What is the end thing we're trying to build? And at the end of the day, it's websites, and it's an app, right? So the only thing I'll say, and one thing I've been really committed to doing over the last few weeks, is I dedicate Thursdays to a code day, and I'm trying very hard to continue to learn code, because the things I learned 10 years ago still apply. I still know accessibility. I still know basic architecture of whatever, but technology moves forward, and I want to still know how to code a website. So what I learned this week was testing, and it's in preparation for a video that I've got coming out, but it's learning how to write tests. And I go back. I love learning fundamentals. I went right back to why tests are learned, how you write them, the libraries you install, and things like that. It's staying on top of it so that I am the best AI coder, so I'm able to shepherd and understand what the AI is doing, to know if it's doing a right or good thing or a bad thing. So I'm on a mission now to get up to speed with some of the latest coding practices and translate that to my agentic coding arsenal. Do you know what I mean? Again, completely forgotten why I was telling you this. That's the thing with old age, you just forget what you're talking about midway through about what you're talking about. But I used to be quite good at that. But yeah, staying on top of coding. Do it.
Okay, cool.
Should we wrap up there?
You you mentioned this. Oh, I see. You have this Hank Green also video. Maybe we should just mention it for our audience.
Yeah, we can do that.
The water use. So I watched that video and I enjoyed it, and I was like, I'm gonna send this to Sam, and then I forgot. So I'm glad that you watched it.
Here we go. Yeah.
Yeah.
So Hank Green, the sci-fi show, cancer survivor, very funny guy, released a video on the white lies on this water usage of AI, right? And he basically explains, we've spoken about it a couple of times, to be honest, but this argument that water use is a big issue in the world of AI. And the long and short of it is really that it's such a hard thing. It's just as your mic is just like Muller's. Who's Muller's? I don't know who's Muller's. I'm going to take that as a compliment. It's a dynamic mic, so I can sing with this as well. The long and short of it is that it's such a hard thing. Like the easiest way I can explain it is, yes, it uses water, but like the work I'm doing would normally take me a month, now takes me less than a week. Like, so think about that. I'm not working as hard, or I'm not traveling to work. You might not be traveling to. It's so interconnected to all of these different parts. It's hard to say that water usage up or down. That's basically. I don't know. You watched it, right?
Yeah, I watched it, but yes. So the whole thing, I don't want to spoil it. That's why I'm like trying to think like, how should I mention this? Good, like you should go watch this video. You will enjoy it. Not just learn something, you will enjoy it. I think he's just an amazing storyteller, and he brings you through this like idea of how much water is being used by AI compared to other things. That's where it gets interesting, because he compares it to other industries and where
cars
we are potentially
being a massive one, right? Oh no, was it cars? What's the one where it's like the water used?
Yes,
corn, yes, which we don't even eat. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, and also you know, for your garden, maybe potentially. So there is AI using a lot of water. Like there are articles on this, and then you compare that to other industries. That is also important. Then there is the point that you make, which is, well, it's making you faster, so it is better overall. But also I would add that part that with AI we are generating a bunch of nonsense that we are using AI to filter out as well. Like there is also that aspects of it, like with job and resumes. People are using AI to make like hundreds, if not thousands of versions of their resume based on, and then they send them in masses, and then they and then the companies use AI to filter them. So we are generating a bunch of content that we don't read.
Like someone made a video, I've forgotten who it was. Oh gosh, something's going crazy here. I can hear myself, but like super high pitch. Can you hear me?
Okay, so I do need to. I can hear you, but why you sound? Your voice is funny.
Is it? Well, let me know in the comments. Is my voice funny? Do I sound like a chipmunk?
Is it just me hearing it like this?
Is it just you? I'm sure you can hear me, even if I sound funny. You can still hear me, surely. But there is a video that someone released that's saying you're using AI wrong, and I was like, okay, what are people using AI for then? And literally, they're using AI to like do things you can do in a regex that you do not need an AI for at all. Like this is obviously code, right? This code stuff, or just doing stuff that you can just filter with normal JavaScript functions. People are using coders are using AI for, which just blew my mind. It would never even it wouldn't even cross my mind that is something to do. Like people are using AI for ridiculous things. There was something else that came into my mind whilst I was saying that as well. But it doesn't surprise me that some of these people are legitimately or illegitimately using AI. We're just lacking the ability to do any kind of reasonable critical thinking, because it's saying, oh, just AI will do it, you know. What's going on?
I'm trying to see if I can fix your mic, but I am listening. Yes, I agree.
Yeah.
I don't know. The mic is. You sound.
Let me
like,
know in the comments. There's plenty out there. If you're on YouTube, let us know.
I don't know how this happened, but you sound like you just consumed a bunch of helium.
Yeah, because I heard an echo, and I was like, I can still kind of hear an echo, to be honest.
No, I can hear you like you've consumed helium, which is funny because like it should be like a filter or something.
Yeah, it's not sped up. Maybe it's bit rate or something. I don't know. But anyway, we'll wrap it up there. Should we? Might be a sign, because we've been online for 2.5 hours now. So yeah, let's wrap it up. Well, guys, cheers for tuning in. That is all we've got time for. Make sure to follow us on Instagram, Command AI Show. If you're watching on YouTube, give us a like, give us a subscribe. We're closing in on 1,000. And I'll go back to what I said at the beginning. Got any ideas for how we can build better content, provide you with more interesting things, stuff you want us to stop doing? We're lovable guys. We're happy to listen to stuff that you really wish we didn't do, or stuff we should do. Then let us know. Like, subscribe, all that good stuff. Join us next week for all the news in AI design and dev. I've been Sam.
And I've been Kavarza.
Keep on vibing.